Welcome everybody to the brand new Atomos live show. I'm your host PhotoJoseph, and it is my pleasure to bring to you this brand new live show full of excitement and cool things to talk about. We have on this show, the very first episode, a very special guest. We have Jeromy Young, the returning CEO of Atomos, is going to be a big part of today's show. He's going to tell us about what's new. We're going to talk about the industry as a whole and answer some questions at the end. So this is a very exciting way to kick things off. So let's talk a little bit about the show itself. First of all, one of the big things that you want to know is we are giving away a Zato. That's right, we're giving away some hardware on this show, and the way you win it is with 3 words. Not just any 3 words, but the 3 right words. Now, if you're not familiar with the Atomos Cloud system yet, one of the really cool things about it is the way that you connect your Atomos hardware to the cloud is with 3 words. You bring up the screen, it's got 3 words, you type those into your computer, and boom, it's connected. That's all there is to it. So in that vein, we are going to present onto your screen 3 words throughout this presentation. Of course, they're only going to pop up once, and they're going to pop up one at a time. And those 3 words are what you will need to win. So when you see them, write them down. And when you see the 3rd word come up, drop that into the chat as quickly as you can. And whoever gets the 3 words in there first will win. Now, the words have to be in the right order, and they have to be in the right format, which means word dash word dash word. That's the way that you're going to win. Again, whoever's first gets it. So keep an eye on your screen, write those down. Let me take you through the agenda, the menu, if you will, for today. So we're going to start with what's new. We're going to be bringing Jeromy in for that, where he's going to tell us about a whole bunch of stuff that is already new, even though he's only been here for a very short time. Then we're going to be jumping into the industry insight section, where we're going to talk with Jeromy and another very special guest about the industry as a whole, where it's heading, and what that means for Atomos. Then we'll dive into a section called Feature Focus, where we will take a look at some new announcements from Atomos, some new features via firmware updates and so on that have been recently announced. Then the Q&A, and the Q&A is a very important part of the show. You have the opportunity as a live viewer to drop your questions into the chat room on YouTube, where you're watching live right now, and we will take those questions and pop them up on my screen here, where I will read some of those best questions, the biggest questions off for our panel to respond to. And then, of course, at the very end, we'll do the giveaway, so you're going to want to stick around for that. So with that all said, I think it is time to start with what's new. Jeromy, it is so exciting to see you again. It has been a year or two, man. How have you been doing?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. It's great to be back at the helm, and really looking forward to telling the viewers exactly what we've been up to over the last month and a half since I've been back. It's been a lot of good work.
Well, that is exciting. I'm just going to sit back and let you talk about it, because I know that you have a whole bunch of things that you want to tell our audience about.
Yeah, so one of the first orders of event was to do a big ring around to all the customers, and a big call out to all the Atomos customers. You know, many of you have many devices over the last kind of 12 years, and appreciate your support. Second one is to all the shareholders of Atomos, who have been very supportive as the company's been getting back to a strong company, and that's what I've been working hard with the team, and we've been bringing some new people on board, which we'll announce today, and you'll meet those new people, as well as been looking at where the company maybe could improve. And one big area has been the support of the products, and that was one of the parts of the business that we worked really hard on when we founded Atomos, was to make sure that we were as good, if not better, than camera makers and the Silicon Valley companies that we supported the recording of their formats. And so first thing we've done is bring back our 3-year warranty. So that's the first thing. Anyone that buys an Atomos product from here, you register with your email address, and we'll give you a 3-year warranty. It shows you that we trust our products, and we do trust our products and the quality of those products, but it also shows you that we're going to support you through your business using these products in a daily environment where you make money from producing video. So to all those production companies that buy our products, you can rely on us for 3 years. So that's the first thing we're bringing back. The second thing is we wanted to go through and explain to people exactly how the camera to cloud system works. And we've been working really hard on making sure that our systems are connected, to the internet. And it's super important to do that. So one of the things that we're doing is looking back at our current user base, the Ninjas. There's 300,000 Ninja customers, Ninja 5s and Ninja 5 Pluses. So we're giving a free upgrade to OS 11. Last year we released some new products and the older customers didn't receive them. It was very un-Atomos-like. So now, for free, you can upgrade to these, to the current level of production quality, which is OS 11. So that comes for free. At the same time, there's a bunch of features that we had to work hard to implement. So the first thing I did when I came back into the company was instruct the engineers to offer the same features as the latest Ninjas that are new to the older customers. So those are a paid upgrade. But to make that paid upgrade a bit more palatable, we've included some of the really important streaming and RAW functionality where we give you H.265 RAW for free and we give you the ProRes RAW, SDI RAW input into these products for free. So that's all turned on for you once you pay for this upgrade. We also give you all the new features that we worked hard on in the latest OS 11. So $79 for Ninja 5 customers, $129 for Ninja 5 Plus customers because 8K and 4K 120, and we throw in the codecs for free. So there's no reason not to get to the base level. The reason we've done that is now that we do that, you upgrade, we can give you all the great features that we work on from here, so no one's left behind. So that's a huge, huge improvement for those Ninja 5 customers, so no one gets left behind. So you've got a 3-year warranty, you're up to date with the latest and greatest operating system with all its functions. And then the next thing we needed to do, the team actually worked extremely hard for the couple of years that I was out of the business in connecting every Ninja and Shogun to the internet. However, most customers aren't used to using internet as a workflow. So we're announcing here today that everyone that buys Atomos hardware gets camera to cloud for free. So that's the first one here, $15 a month for 6 months. You get to try it out. And then once you try it out, you can also use our live production, which is a little bit more expensive per month, but allows you to offer TV-style production that we're doing here today, picture-in-picture, graphic, multi-camera shoots that utilise all the wonderful hardware that we've produced, but you can offer that to your customers at an extra price on the rate card. So you can make sure that you're offering the best service to your customers, and we give you that at a very low cost, and you can charge that onto the customers. So to get you into the internet-based production workflow, we're giving away camera to cloud the $15 a month for 6 months, so it's $90 of value on all of our hardware. So every time you buy an Atomos connected product, you get 6 months cloud for free. That's a huge change to something that I think customers were a little bit reticent to jump into, and now we're offering that. So if you buy a Zato Connect, if you buy a Shogun or a Shogun Ultra, it's already inbuilt the connectivity to the internet. So you get those inside those products, but you couldn't connect to the internet and use the camera to cloud services until you paid $15 a month. So we're letting you use that for 6 months for free. So then the only customer set left that isn't connected to the internet and using it properly are the Ninja customers. So you've now upgraded to OS 11 using our affordable upgrade where we throw in the codecs. And the next thing is we're offering this. So this is a Connect for a Ninja 5 and a Ninja 5 Plus, as well as the latest Ninja and Ninja Ultra. So what this Connect does is make you internet capable. It gives you a bunch of features. So what features does it give you? It gives you SDI RAW into the Ninja. It gives you 6 gig Wi-Fi. And it gives you that on all of these wonderful products that you see on the screen. So the Wi-Fi 6, Ethernet, SDI and multicam is all available on the Connect when you buy it. Now, normally this is $399. As a present to you guys to get you connected into the latest and greatest workflow, we're offering that for $99. So it's a $99 upgrade for all of those 300,000 Ninjas that have been sold over the last 4 or 5 years. You can now step into the modern remote production workflow. This allows you to offer so much more to your customers, and it really is an amazing solution, and we really encourage you to whack one on your Ninja and make sure that you're getting the best out of your current hardware.
Well, thanks, Jeromy. That is a lot that is being announced right here. And I want to point out, too, you mentioned that we're running this production on the Atomos Cloud. And that is absolutely true. This whole production is being run on the Atomos Cloud system. You and a big part of the crew are in the UK. I'm in Central Europe right now, and later on in the show, we're going to be bringing someone in from the United States as well. So it really is a totally globally connected system. So thank you very much for all that. Let me just recap real quick the announcements that you just made. So first of all, the 3-year warranty is back. So all your products are going to get that 3-year warranty instead of 1 year. That's great news. The biggest thing that's going to bring the biggest smile, the OS 11 for Ninja 5 and Ninja 5 Plus. The straight upgrade is free, but of course you can get a ton of extra features for a very, very reasonable cost. The camera to cloud free for 6 months, a great way to try this out and find out if this really is for you or not. Camera to cloud's not for everybody, but the way to find out is to get your hands on it and use it. You don't know what you don't know. And then of course, Atomos Connect for just $99 or 99 euros. To be able to put the connectivity onto your original Ninja or Ninja 5 is absolutely huge. So thank you again for all of that. We're going to move on to the next section now. The next section is called Industry Insight. Well, hello again, Jeromy, and I see you are joined by somebody else up there, someone I know well, Mr. Peter Barber. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Joseph. How are you? It's been a while since we worked together at Apple.
It has been. That's let's not talk about how long ago that was. So while I've got you two on screen here, what I want to talk about is the industry as a whole, kind of stepping back and looking at not just where it's been, but where it's going and where you guys feel that Atomos can fit into that. So I want to lay a little bit of a groundwork here for this. So I'm a content creator, but I am in the YouTube side of things. I'm not a filmmaker and in Hollywood. And as a YouTuber, I have seen a lot of really great technology make its way down to what I can afford, which is really, truly fantastic, right? Cameras went from HD to 4K to 6K, and now they're even in 8K. We've seen the ability to capture in RAW, which I believe is very much largely thanks to Atomos. You guys put ProRes RAW into a recorder, bringing RAW to the masses, and that has just exploded. And we're going to hear more about that later on today. RAW is just absolutely everywhere. But there are several things that really haven't quite trickled down. You know, HDR is one of them. If you look at Netflix or Amazon Prime, everything is HDR these days, absolutely everything. And yet you watch YouTube and almost nothing is in HDR. And I'd love to hear a little bit about why that might be and what you guys can do to make that a bit easier. And then live production. Live is standard SDR in HD. But we have HDR, we have 4K. Why aren't we doing live in those formats as well? So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, where the industry might be going with that, and how Atomos might help the industry get there. Great questions, Joseph. The first one, HDR. So HDR just gives you a wonderful brightness range, which then gives you so much more depth of color. And we're used to seeing it on our Netflix and our streaming services. And the way that will propagate into the mass market, into your world, into the YouTube and TikTok and this type of area, is for it to be inside affordable products. And actually, all of the Atomos products have HDR built in. HDR is 10-bit. It means there's more colors and brightness gradations, and you need to come directly from the sensor of the camera in really high quality, which is what Atomos products do. And now they're connected to the internet, you can start to stream that. The infrastructure of the internet in your area and what you're connected to does limit how much bandwidth you have. So if you're doing HD 8-bit, which isn't HDR today, the real logical step is to use 10-bit HD, which is available on all Ninjas and all of the Atomos connected products. So it's a really nice step into, it'll go over the current internet broadband, and you can actually, when you want to go to 4K, you can maybe pay for a little bit more bandwidth. So the 4K HDR is there, HD HDR is right there for you. So there's no reason today with Atomos products that you can't do this type of workflow. And that's the kind of thing that, you know, working with Peter over many years at Blackmagic, and then when I started Atomos, it was really the core of what our endeavour is to bring those solutions to the customers, don't you think, Pete?
Yeah, and I think that's really important. I mean, to give you a bit more of my background for those of you who don't know me, I originally started in the industry as a broadcast cameraman and then worked into post-production doing television commercial editing, back when equipment used to cost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to build edit suites and things like that. So there was a real disconnect between being able to do high quality work, because unless you worked for a company that could afford that expensive equipment, you couldn't get involved. So that changed changed a lot when things like Final Cut Pro came along, which was obviously when Joseph and I worked together at Apple, and also what we did originally at Blackmagic Design. The whole reason we started building affordable products was to make sure that more creative people like us could get hold of high quality tools, and therefore the industry would be bigger and we could take care of more people. And I think that same DNA goes through to what's happening here at Atomos, is to create really high quality recordings and be that in between the cameras and the Silicon Valley, and make sure everybody can do whatever workflow that makes sense to their projects.
Yeah, and it's up to us to educate the customers on how to use that. So, Joseph, the way to do that is to use the product, step in, activate your free cloud, and then you can start to utilise the things like HDR and 4K streaming.
Absolutely. I want to talk a little bit more about cloud, since you just ended with that. When we look at live streaming and we look at camera to cloud, these are really talked about separately, but they are essentially the same thing, two sides of the same coin. In the live streaming world, it's all about real-time delivery, as close to real-time as you can. If we drop a frame along the way, that's totally fine, as long as the message gets out there as quickly as possible, as close to real-time as possible, like what we're used to with traditional broadcast. But then on the camera to cloud side of things, it's basically the same idea. We're still pushing the bits across the stream, but there what matters is quality. We have to be at the top quality possible, and we have to make sure that every frame gets there. There's no excuse for drop frames. It has to get there. If it takes another 30 seconds or a minute or 5 minutes to get there, that's totally fine. Now, with that in mind, is there a way that we can bring these two things together and maybe one can learn from the other? Bringing the 10-bit capability, bringing HDR capability to standard live streaming, and I know you touched on that a little bit, but that really is what C2C is. It's that higher quality image. Can we get there, and can we even get to a point where we can do a live stream that is closer to real time, drop some frames, HD only, that's fine, but then it is automatically replaced. Not something I have to edit and upload, but just kind of automatically replaced on whatever platform I'm going to with that higher quality, higher bit rate, higher bit depth, HDR type image.
Yeah, that's where, Joseph, that's where the recording and the H.265 come in. So you can either record to ProRes or H.265 for that, taking up to the camera to cloud to get every frame, every pixel up there, so you can edit it and send it to your kind of higher end customer that really needs that workflow to speed up and make sure that they're delivering something in good time, because time costs money, especially in those higher end productions. At the same time, when you're connected and you've got this camera to cloud enabled, and then you enable live stream at the same time, we can be streaming that HD together, and then you conform back to the master files that are recorded on the Ninja and sitting there waiting for you to just link them back together. So those workflows are actually kind of film workflows in the past, but now they're all digital. However, only on an Atomos product can you do all those three things at the same time.
Yeah, and it's really important for collaboration too. You've been filming on set, and then you have people working in different countries doing editing or colour correction or visual effects, and be able
more affordable teams.
And more affordable, yes.
Yeah, so it's all in there, Joseph, for customers to discover, and it's up to us to educate. So you'll be seeing that on our live streams as we go through the new solutions that we have to offer.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for that. So we're basically done with this section, but I have a question. I've got a question that I have to ask, and it might get me fired from this show for asking, but I'm going to do it anyway because I know that so many people in my seat want to know this. So your recorders capture RAW to ProRes RAW, and ProRes RAW is great if you're a Final Cut editor, but a lot of us are editing in Resolve. And we have been begging Blackmagic to support ProRes RAW, but for whatever reason, they're just not doing it. So if they're not going to support ProRes RAW, then the alternative to that is, what if Atomos recorders could record Blackmagic RAW? So that is, as far as I know, technically possible. So is there anything stopping you guys from doing that? Would you guys put Blackmagic RAW into the Atomos recorders if Blackmagic said okay?
Joseph, absolutely we would. We'd love to put it in. We are the Switzerland of recording. So whether you're avid DNX because you're broadcast, and that was huge in America and huge in Europe, so we record that. ProRes was the new kid on the block, 10 years ago, and we enabled that. ProRes RAW is the next evolution of that. And yeah, Blackmagic RAW has really done well, especially in what a great software Resolve is. So we would love to enable our customers and theirs to have the advantages of both. So no problem. We would love to record it. It's up to Blackmagic if they'd like to give it to us, and we're ready to take that call anytime.
That is great news. Well, I'll tell you what, when we're at NAB, let's all head over to their booth together and knock on the door, see if we can get Grant to answer. I would love to do that. All right, well, thank you very much, guys. Stick around for the questions part of it. I know we're going to have some questions that you guys are going to want to address. Next up is a section we call Feature Focus, where we're going to talk about what features have just hit your hardware. So in just a moment here, we're going to dive into the feature. Oh, there we go. And there's Mr. Paul. I guess I got to give a little bit more time for him to get on stage. Thanks, Paul, for joining us here today.
Hi, Jason.
I know, how's it going? I know you're going to take us through some of the newest announcements as far as software, firmware upgrades for the Atomos hardware. Let's start off with raw support.
Great, yeah, loads of things to get through today, so let's dive straight in. So let's start with the continual growth of the ProRes RAW ecosystem. We talked about it a bit earlier, but the ProRes RAW is one of the many codecs that are available to use on our products, along with ProRes, DNX, and H.265. And the number of cameras that output RAW to an Atomos monitor recorder just keeps growing and growing. So for those that may remember, Atomos launched ProRes RAW support at NAB almost 6 years ago. And then we followed on pretty soon afterwards with the groundbreaking announcement of RAW over HDMI with our friends at Nikon. And within the last 2 months or so, we've had 5 new RAW cameras joining the Atomos ProRes RAW ecosystem. So that's now taking the number of RAW-supported cameras towards 60. So we have 2 new Sony cameras recently, the Alpha 7 CR and the Alpha 9 Mark III. The Alpha 7 CR outputs 3.9K RAW at 60 frames per second, and the Alpha 9 Mark III outputs 4.7K, also at 60 frames per second. And in fact, the Alpha 9 Mark III has literally just started shipping now. We've got a new camera from Panasonic, a new Lumix camera, the G9 Mark II. And this camera outputs a whopping 4K RAW at 120 frames per second, or 5.7K at 60 frames per second. And then literally just over a week ago, we had a newly announced camera from OM Systems, the OM1 Mark II, and this outputs RAW at 4K DCI P60. Back end of last year, we announced a super capable new camera from Fujifilm, the GFX 100S, and this camera supports 8K 30 RAW, and it also supports Atomos AirGlue wireless Bluetooth timecode. So the combination of having the wireless timecode and the 8K 30 RAW from the same camera in one camera release was a true world first. So you can see that the ProRes RAW ecosystem is just growing and growing. We've got loads more cameras coming down the pipe for later this year and next year.
That is fantastic. That's huge. And I love the thing with Fuji with time code over Bluetooth to the camera directly. You know me, I'm a huge fan of time code. So yeah, absolutely. Time code all the things. That's my motto there. So all of this is coming via firmware updates. And I know just like our phones that can get regular software updates, you guys are doing the same thing with your hardware. There's always updates coming. So walk me through some of the latest firmware updates and other features that might have been in there.
Well, even since we launched OS 11 last year, we've been busy beavering away, adding even more features and enhancements to OS 11. Listening to our customers by popular request, we've added more flexible H.265 options for camera to cloud uploads. So this is all based on how we see people using camera to cloud and obviously the feedback from them. And we heard that a lot of people are wanting a higher quality H.265 file sent to the cloud. And then obviously it then allows them to share and start using that file anywhere in the world and collaborating with it. So we added an option to record in either 10-bit H.265 or 8-bit. We previously only could do 8-bit. So that 10-bit edition was a really welcome upgrade that we did. And that's in addition to the ability to upload 4K files as well. And we can also upload at a very high bit rate of up to 30 megabits per second. So we've got lots of parameters that you can change with your upload now. So it's now possible to record and upload to camera to cloud a super high quality sort of master file. Now actually the ability to sort of upload a 4K high quality file ties in perfectly with our SDI Cine feature. So the SDI Cine feature on our products is where we can match the file name on our product with the camera file, the OCF, the original camera file. And working with Arri, Canon, Red, and Sony, we've now got support for the most popular cameras. So you really can have the best of both worlds. You can record high quality files on the camera and have a super high quality 4K 10-bit file on the Atomos recorder which of course you're recording locally on the Atomos recorder, but you're also sending to camera to cloud.
That's brilliant. That is a lot packed into a handful of updates. One more thing you haven't mentioned that I know I saw in some of the notes is NDI. What is Atomos doing with NDI right now?
Yeah, we've got some great announcements with NDI. We're expanding our NDI support on our products. So we've got NDI support coming very soon for Zato Connect and enhanced NDI support for Ninja and Shoguns. So basically, very soon, all products will have the ability to receive, monitor, and record NDI HX2 feeds. And this is in addition to our current NDI activation, which we have already, for the option to TX or stream NDI HX2 from Ninja and Shoguns. So the cost of both NDI TX and RX for the Ninja and Shogun is only $99 or euros. And we even have a 4K NDI TX mode for both Ninja Ultra and Shogun Ultra for an additional $99. And for the Zato, unbelievably, the price of NDI RX activation is totally free and included in the product price of just $299. So when you look at the Zato Connect, it's actually one of those products that you don't realize just how much it can actually do for such an incredible price. It's built for social, 8-bit HD, you can switch two cameras, you've got an HDMI input, you've got a webcam input, picture-in-picture, stream directly or camera to cloud from that device. And even just thinking again back to the NDI feature on the Zato alone, to get a product at that price point that not only can be used as an NDI receiver to loop out to an HDMI or webcam output, but to be a 5-inch confidence monitor and an SD card recorder is pretty amazing. I think you'd agree.
I certainly do agree. That is pretty awesome. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for that update there. And speaking of the Zato Connect, folks, don't forget we are giving one away here on the show. The way that you get that is those 3 words. So hopefully you've been seeing those pop up on your screen, writing them down, because coming up here in a little bit, we're going to need you to put those 3 words into the chat so that you can possibly win. And don't forget, they do have to be in the right format, word-word-words. Somebody out there is going to win that. Next, we're going to take the show all the way to Los Angeles, California, where we're going to talk to John Restivo, who just came back from the Sundance Film Festival, where he was putting camera to cloud to work there. John, tell us all about it.
Hey, Joseph, thanks for having me. You know, I know we talked about camera to cloud a lot on the show already, but Sundance is really an amazing use case because there's a lot of technical things going on. Pretty much we had 15 Mark III Canon cameras deployed all over Park City. Each camera is outfitted with a Ninja and a Connect module. So everything's connected to the cloud. We're outputting 2K from the camera. All these files are going into Frame.io, and the editors can access them also in Premiere. So all of Sundance this year was using H.265 proxies for all the social media, daily recaps, everything. You know, the reason why Sundance is kind of such a big ground for this is in the past, workflow would be recording on camera, right? Bringing cards back to the DIT to download. You know, there's snow, there's traffic, there's all kinds of things going on. But where camera to cloud comes in is all the files are being uploaded in real time as you're shooting. We did camera to cloud last year as well, but what we added this year in the Atomos monitors is progressive uploading. So as you're shooting, the file is going straight into the cloud. So as soon as you hit cut, the file's there almost immediately. So really, you know, the workflow with Sundance this year almost is really, I don't think they can go back basically to downloading cards again. You know, we were recording on the cameras just in case, but all the footage you see this year, if you go to the Instagram on Sundance, you watch all the daily recaps, everything is the H.265 proxy. So it's really amazing to see this technology work in the field. But yeah, it was a great year at Sundance. Back to you, Joseph.
That is very cool. I wish I could have been there, but I guess I kind of was there virtually watching the shows go up on the socials. That's very cool. Thank you for that. So there you can see just one of the many ways that this technology is being used in the industry, and it is extremely cool. So I think next we're going to move on to the Q&A. Hopefully you've been dropping some good questions into the chat. It's not too late if you haven't, drop them into the chat here on YouTube, and we will bring those up to do our best to answer those for you. So it's time for a little Q&A. The first question is actually going to be from me. I want to ask a question of Jeromy here. Jeromy, when we were talking earlier, you were talking about all these new things that you were announcing, all these technologies and features and so on that you're hoping to bring in the future. But let's talk a little bit more actual near future. What new hardware might you be bringing in? And I know you can't tell me everything, but give me something here. What are you guys working on over there?
Oh, you put me on the spot, Joseph. Yeah, look, while I was away, and actually picked up this conversation with Peter around a year ago, we brainstormed, what areas of production are still in cinema and film and TV, but haven't propagated down to the kind of mass production market that we service. And the key area that we identified that sits right next to every Ninja on every set is lighting. The lighting world has moved to LED lighting, but it hasn't moved to control of lighting from a central place. It hasn't increased the speed of workflow or the ease of use. And so you'll see Atomos moving into the lighting world, not in a traditional way, in a very high-tech way, where we're electronically controlling lights from Ninjas and controlling the image and giving you those wonderful 4K HDR images, because lighting is the base of all great camera production. And so every time someone buys a Ninja, they buy a few lights. So we definitely want to make sure that they're buying our lights. So come to NAB and you're going to see, what we've been working on. So yeah, that's my answer to that. Lights, 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 Joseph.
That's pretty cool. I got to say that lights and Atomos was not on my 2024 bingo card. So I'm excited to see what you guys do that sets it apart from everybody else out there. That's awesome. I do want to ask another question of you, Jeromy, just for a little bit of clarification for those that might not be totally clear. The Ninja 5 and the Ninja 5 Plus are both having these great upgrades. One's $79, one's a bit more. If you have the Ninja 5 Plus, can you just get that cheaper upgrade? Can you go for that $79 upgrade?
Unfortunately, no, you can't. The Ninja 5 Plus, the upgrade is linked to the serial number of the unit because there's a lot more processing to be done in the 8K and 4K high frame rate world that the Ninja 5 Plus offers. So there's been a lot more work gone into that, and that lets, if you try and put a $79 upgrade on it, it won't let you. You have to go to the $129, but it does unlock the features for all the 8K and 4K that the Ninja 5 doesn't do. So unfortunately, no, you can't put the $79 upgrade on the Ninja 5 Plus, but for $129, you get over $300 of value. I think you're going to love it.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. All right, Paul, I'm going to throw this next one to you. I want you to talk a little bit about the features that are included in Camera to Cloud. When we get into that free trial and beyond, what do you get for that?
Well, with our recent update for Camera to Cloud on that tier, we've now literally got everything thrown in on it. So we've got our progressive file upload technology that we talked about earlier, where the files are going up to the cloud as you're actually recording. So when you stop recording, within a minute, even if you recorded a 2-hour clip, it's likely within a minute or so that file will be ready in the cloud to be able to edit. We've got 4K uploads, we've got 10-bit color, we've got variable bit rates, GOP length, we've got full support for Frame IO, Camera to Cloud, Sony C Media. So really everything that we've got, we've just chucked into that $15 tier.
That's awesome. Well, that is a lot of stuff in there for free for 6 months. That's fantastic. Next question is also for you, Paul. This is about OpenGate and recording OpenGate RAW, or capturing OpenGate to RAW. Are there limitations? Can we capture OpenGate RAW on the Atomos recorders right now? And for those who don't know, OpenGate means you're capturing the entire sensor, full 4:3 or 3:2 aspect ratio, not just a cropped 16:9 window.
Yeah, there are no limitations at all on our side. So it really depends on the output of the camera, whether they give us the OpenGate. But I mean, we already support that already. Fujifilm have the H2S camera, and that already outputs 6.2K OpenGate. So really, it's probably down to the point, if you've got a camera, your favorite camera, and you would like it to support OpenGate, then it's really get in contact with the camera vendor and knock on their door, and we're happy to support.
All right. So if your camera doesn't do it, Talk to the camera manufacturer. I love it. All right, let's talk about warranty. Jeromy, this one's going to be for you. The updated 3-year warranty that you talked about, is this also going to apply to previous purchases of the Ninja, Ninja Ultra, Shogun, or Shogun Ultra?
Yeah, absolutely. Just give us your address, your email address. Let us update you all the firmware updates that we do, consistently through the year, and we'll give you the 3-year warranty. Definitely, it's definitely retrospective. So if you've bought the product, register it, and you'll be supported for 3 years.
Sounds great. Love that. Paul, you're next on the hot seat. Will there be an Atomos Edit extension for DaVinci Resolve like the extension is for Premiere Pro?
Very good. Obviously, the Premiere Pro extension has literally just gone live. That's definitely something we would consider. And yeah, moving forward, so we've got the extension for Premiere Pro literally just gone live on the Exchange portal now. So yeah, we can follow that up with others. We're always keen to support.
Okay, well, I guess that answers that. Thank you very much. All right, well, I believe, I'm looking at my questions, that is the extent of it. So no more chances to get any questions in there. If you come up with something afterwards, save it for the next show. We're going to be back. You can ask us on the next episode. Now, I get to very happily announce the winner of the Zato Connect. So, drum roll, please. The winner is C. Snyder VM. C. Snyder VM, you are the happy winner of the Zato. To claim your prize, there is an email address on the bottom. I guess I was supposed to wait for that slide to come up. Sorry about that, but I jumped the gun there. Snyder VM, that is yours. So now there is a thing going across the bottom of your screen there that tells you the email address to reach out to claim your prize. Now, don't everybody go trying to email that address and saying that you're C. Snyder VM. We'll know. We know who you are. So I want to make sure that gets into the right hands, but drop us an email there and we'll make sure that you get your shiny new product. That is, checking my notes, I believe everything we've got today. Hey, listen, there's a lot of people doing really cool things in the industry with the Atomos hardware right now. And if you are someone like that, if you're doing something really, really cool in the industry and you think that the rest of the world needs to know about it, let us know and maybe we can bring you on the show to talk about what you're doing. The way to reach out to us for that is to email takepart@atomos.com. Takepart@atomos.com. Drop an email over there and we will have a discussion and see if it's something that fits the show and we can bring you on. So with that said, I think it's time to wrap this thing up. Thank you everybody for joining us today. That was a exciting first episode of the Atomos Live Show. I'm PhotoJoseph, your host. I'm thrilled to be a part of this and I can't wait to see you guys next month.